Hey viewers, welcome to African Tales by Afi. Please kindly click the subscribe button to get notified for more amazing stories. In the quiet village of Greenleaf, where the birds chirped cheerfully and children played hopscotch in the streets, lived a kind-hearted young mechanic named Zane. Zane wasn't rich, but he had strong hands, a warm smile, and a heart bigger than the mountains that surrounded the village. Every day, he worked at a small garage fixing bikes, carts, and sometimes even fancy cars that passed through. One sunny afternoon, while Zane was polishing his favorite wrench, he heard the screech of tires and a loud pop from the hill road just outside the village. "Sounds like trouble," he said, wiping his hands on a rag. He grabbed his toolbox and hurried up the winding path. At the top, he saw a shiny silver car stopped by the side of the road. Steam puffed out from the hood like an angry dragon. And there, standing beside the car in a bright red dress and shiny heels, was a girl looking very lost. "Need some help?" Zane asked, walking up to her with a grin. The girl turned, startled. She was very pretty, with big eyes and golden brown curls. "Oh, thank goodness," she sighed. "I think my car exploded." Zane chuckled. "Not quite. Let me take a look." As he lifted the hood and checked the engine, the girl watched curiously. "I'm Bella," she said, offering her hand. "I'm Zane," he replied, shaking her hand with his greasy fingers. She laughed at the smudge he left behind. "Oops. Sorry. I guess I'm not used to shaking hands with princesses," he teased. Bella laughed. "I'm no princess. I just came from the city. My family owns a big house on Sunset Hill. I was visiting a friend and took the wrong turn. Well, you're lucky I'm here. Your car needs a new hose and your tire's flat. I can fix it, but it might take a while." "That's okay," Bella said, sitting on a rock. "I've never been to Greenleaf before. It's peaceful." As Zane worked, they talked about everything: music, dogs, favorite foods, and even dreams. Zane told her about how he wanted to open his own garage one day. "What about you?" he asked. "What do you dream about?" Bella smiled. "Thank you, Zane. Really. I haven't laughed like this in a long time." As she got into the car, she hesitated. "Would you maybe want to visit Sunset Hill sometime? We could have tea or something." Zane scratched his head. "A poor mechanic like me? In a big fancy house?" Bella grinned. "You fixed my car. That makes you more important than half the people I know." He watched her drive off, her taillights twinkling like stars. He didn't know it then, but that one flat tire had just turned the wheels of something much bigger, something called fate. Back at the garage, his best friend Tarek whistled. "Wow, Zane. Who was that?" Zane shrugged, but he couldn't hide his smile. "Just someone interesting." Tarek laughed. "Man, you've got grease on your face, but stars in your eyes." And with that, the sun dipped below the trees, and the village of Greenleaf settled into the night, peaceful, as always. But Zane's heart beat a little faster, wondering what tomorrow might bring. The next morning, Zane was still thinking about Bella. Every time he tried to tighten a bolt or twist a wrench, her laughter echoed in his mind. Tarek noticed and nudged him. "You've been staring at that toolbox for 10 minutes, bro. Either you're in love with it, or you're in love with her." Zane blushed. "I'm not in love. We just talked." "Yeah? Well, girls like that don't usually invite mechanics for tea." You gonna go? Zane hesitated. Sunset Hill was the richest place around. Big gates, tall fences, and guards who frowned like they were allergic to smiles. Still, something in Bella's voice had sounded real. Like she meant it. That afternoon, Zane put on his cleanest shirt and hopped on his scooter. It coughed and groaned as it climbed the hill, but eventually, he reached a grand white gate with a lion crest in gold. A guard with a mustache so long it curled at the ends raised an eyebrow. You're not on the guest list, he said. I'm here to see Bella, Zane replied, standing tall. The guard snorted. And I'm here to fly to the moon. Suddenly, Bella's voice rang out from behind the gate. He's with me. The guard grumbled but opened the gate. Inside, the garden was like something out of a fairy tale, roses, fountains, even peacocks strutting around like little kings. Bella ran to greet Zane. You came. You invited me, didn't you? He said with a smile. They sat in the garden with tiny sandwiches, fruit tarts, and tea so fancy Zane wasn't sure if he was supposed to drink it or water plants with it. They laughed and talked until... Ahem. A tall man in a suit with sharp eyes and slick hair appeared beside the table. His smile didn't reach his eyes. Bella, he said slowly. Who's this? Bella stood. Marco. This is Zane. He's a mechanic. He helped me yesterday. Marco looked Zane up and down like he was a worm on his shoe. Ah. A mechanic. How charming. Zane stood too. Nice to meet you. Marco raised one perfect eyebrow. Is it? Bella frowned. Marco, don't be rude. Marco laughed softly. I'm not being rude, darling. I'm just surprised. You don't usually hang out with engine cleaners. Zane clenched his fists but stayed calm. I fix cars, he said. And I also fix broken things. Like bad attitudes. Bella tried not to laugh, but a giggle slipped out. Marco's eyes narrowed. Listen, grease boy, he said, stepping closer. Bella's engaged to me. We're getting married in a few months. This little tea party ends now. Bella stood between them. Marco! Stop it! You don't control me. Marco looked shocked. I'm just trying to protect you. He's not one of us. I'm not one of you either, Bella said quietly. Not really. Marco left, slamming the garden gate behind him. Zane looked at Bella. I didn't mean to cause trouble. She sighed. You didn't. Marco's been trying to control me for years. I just didn't realize how badly until now. Zane scratched his head. Why do you stay with him? Bella looked at her teacup. Because my parents like him. Because he's rich. Because it's what everyone expects. But I don't know if I want that anymore. They sat in silence for a moment. Zane finally said, sometimes, the right road is the one everyone tells you not to take. Bella looked up at him, her eyes wide. That's really wise. He shrugged. I read it on a fortune cookie once. They both burst into laughter again. As Zane rode home, he felt proud, but also worried. Marco didn't seem like the kind of guy who gave up easily. And he was right. Because while Zane was dreaming of Bella, Marco was already planning something very sneak. Zane's heart raced. Marco, he growled. He's not just jealous. He's evil. Tarek stood beside him. What are we going to do? Zayn looked at the note, then at the clouds above Sunset Hill. I'm going to get her back. Even if I have to face her parents, Marco, or 100 angry butlers. That evening, Zayn rode up the hill again, but this time, he wasn't alone. Mr. Luther had sent a car to escort him, now that Zayn was officially recognized as part of the Al-Habib family. And Zayn wore a proper jacket, though he still had his old boots on. He refused to give those up. At the mansion gate, the guard didn't even blink this time. He bowed. Good evening, sir. Zayn marched up the long driveway, heart pounding. In the great hall, Bella sat on a couch beside her parents and Marco. Her eyes lit up when she saw Zayn. Marco stood, jaw tight. What are you doing here? Zayn stood tall. I came to speak the truth. And to see Bella. Bella's mother sniffed. We were told you were nothing but a street mechanic. And yet, Zayn said, your information was wrong. Mr. Luther stepped forward with documents. Mr. Zayn is the grandson of Ibrahim al-Habib. He holds rights, properties, and respect far beyond what you imagined. Bella's father blinked in surprise. You're one of them? Zayn nodded. But I don't care about titles. I care about Bella. And I won't let lies and snobbery keep us apart. Bella stood up. I choose Zayn. Not Marco. I never loved Marco. I just felt trapped. Marco's face turned red like a tomato in summer. You'll regret this, he snapped. Zayn stepped forward. Not as much as you will, if you keep trying to hurt the people I care about. Silence filled the room. Finally, Bella's father sighed. Well, I suppose things have changed. Zayn turned to Bella. Are you ready to leave? Bella smiled. More than ever. They walked out of the mansion hand in hand, the moonlight lighting their path. Tarek met them at the bottom of the hill. Zayn, he said, grinning wide, you just walked into a lion's den, and walked out with the lioness. Zayn laughed. And I didn't even get a scratch. But deep down, he knew the fight wasn't quite over yet. Because Marco wasn't done scheming. Not yet. Zayn and Bella stood on the hilltop, watching the sunrise paint the sky in pink and gold. The village of Greenleaf below was still quiet, but the birds were already singing, as if they knew something wonderful was about to happen. I still can't believe you're from the Al-Habib family, Bella said, squeezing Zayn's hand. I still can't believe your family didn't throw a shoe at me, Zayn joked. Bella giggled. They wanted to. But you spoke up like a lion. They sat on a bench outside Zayn's garage, sipping hot cocoa. Life had changed overnight. People from the city were calling Zayn, offering business deals. His face was even on the local newspaper, from Greece to greatness. But Zayn didn't care about the fame. He only cared about Bella. Just then, Tarek came running, holding a newspaper. You guys better see this, he panted, holding it out. On the front page was a photo of Marco, angry, red-faced, being dragged out of a courtroom. Marco got arrested, Tarek said. Turns out he was cheating people in business. Fake investments. Even lied to Bella's family about his job. Bella shook her head. I should have known. You did, Zayn said gently. Eventually. That's what matters. But Marco wasn't done. That night, someone broke into Zane's garage. They smashed windows, poured oil on the floor, and spray-painted "Stay away from her" in big red letters. Zane stood in the mess, breathing hard. "Marco," he whispered. Bella put a hand on his shoulder. "We'll clean it up. He's just scared because we're stronger than him." Zane nodded. "Then let's show him." The next morning, Zane invited everyone in the village and from Sunset Hill to a special event, the grand reopening of Zane's garage. Kids brought balloons, neighbors brought cookies, and even Bella's parents came, curious to see what their daughter's chosen man had planned. Zane stood on a small wooden stage with Bella beside him. "Thank you all for coming," he said into a microphone. "This garage has always been about helping people. Whether you have a bicycle or a Bentley, we fix it with the same care. I may be part of a big family now, but I'll never forget where I came from." People clapped. Some even cheered. Suddenly, a loud voice cut through the crowd. "Touching. But this isn't over." Everyone turned. Marco stood at the edge of the crowd, wearing dark glasses and a frown. "You ruined my life, mechanic," he growled. "I should ruin yours." Zane stepped down calmly. "You ruined your own life, Marco. With your lies and greed. This isn't a fight. It's over." Marco laughed bitterly. "You think you can just ride off with the girl and a happy ending?" Zane smiled. "I don't think it. I know it." Bella walked up beside Zane. "Marco, leave. You don't scare us anymore." Marco looked around. No one was on his side. Even Bella's parents stood with their arms crossed, disappointed. With a bitter sneer, Marco turned and stomped away, defeated for good. The crowd erupted into cheers. Music played. Kids danced. And in the middle of it all, Zane and Bella shared a quiet moment. "I guess this is our new beginning," Bella said. Zane nodded. "No more hiding. No more fear. Just us. And maybe a few spark plugs." She laughed. "You really are a mechanic to the core." Later that evening, Zane lit lanterns outside the garage. One by one, villagers and guests released them into the sky. The lights floated up like tiny stars, carrying dreams and hope into the night. Bella rested her head on Zane's shoulder. "So," she whispered, "what now?" Zane looked at her and smiled. "We build. Together. A life. A home. Maybe even a garage with a tea corner." "A tea corner?" she giggled. "Yeah," he said. "For a certain city girl who got lost, and found more than she expected." They watched the lanterns disappear into the stars, knowing their story was just beginning. And from that day on, in the village of Greenleaf, people often told the tale of the kind mechanic and the girl from the hills. A tale of courage, love, and standing up for what matters most. And everyone, especially the children, believed that true love could fix even the most broken things. Hello tribe, hope we enjoyed today's story. Please kindly put what you've learned in the comments section. Please remember to hit the like button. Bye.